Are there any more bigger Broadway music lovers than the people here right in these seats? Elisa Kaplan Center and Kate Barkley, thank you for joining us today from the club, as always.
Thank you. Hi again.
Thank you.
Hello, hello. So let's go with the chorus line thing that you guys did it lasted longer than the actual one on Broadway. You had your fourth showing of this one. How did it go?
Great. We I calculated we had over 770 people come between the four shows.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So yeah, and we're resting now because it's been a long 8 months of production, pre-production, singing, dancing, rehearsing, and it was really a great ending.
Yeah. It was really neat though because our presentation was in a more casual situation. We would look out. I looked out, and there were people mouthing the words and singing the songs that they've heard for years and years, and just really, really enjoying it. And people who had seen it on Channel 6 and then came in and went, "Oh my gosh, I loved it on 6 and I love it more." So it was really neat to present something like that to a smaller audience.
Right.
And we didn't have a stage. We were flush with them.
And what's it like being, that close? That's a very intimate kind of setting with all of with that kind of thing. So what's it like seeing their reaction in real time right there?
Well, the best part was there was one woman in the front row who was literally leaning in to them. They were right there singing and everything. And when the show was over, she just got up and gave such a standing ovation applause. She couldn't hold herself back.
Oh.
And to me, as an artist, but also somebody who loves theater, I know that feeling.
Right.
You're exploding with joy.
Yeah.
And it's, because we don't have lighting right in our face, which means then you can't see the audience.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's like doing a cabaret. And you feed off of the audience energy, which is so great. They're becoming involved in the show, which is what we like in our meetings. Become involved. Don't have us just be talking heads.
Do you remember the first time you were ever at a Broadway show or something like that, or your first time you saw a play or musical and said, and you got that feeling, wow, this is really, I'm being moved by this. You wanted to jump up and do the applause too.
Yes, I had two. It wasn't a Broadway show. It was when I went and saw the Nutcracker for the first time and went, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
And then for my birthday in New Jersey, we would go in to see Radio City Music Hall. And that's when they had a show and a movie. And so you got the dancing and the music and the movie, and I was hooked at that point.
Wow.
Most definitely.
It's funny because I saw the 10 Commandments, the movie, at Radio City Music Hall. And I was so taken with the fact that the mountain and the Bible were so big, because it was something I had never seen before. But I'll tell you the truth, the first Broadway show that I saw that really engaged me in musical theater was actually Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh,
I just loved it, the story, the history, just the history of the story of the families and my history and, being Jewish and really all the storytelling and the dynamics that engaged me.
Well, and what's true about Fiddler on the Roof is you don't have to be Jewish to see it. It is about family. It is about community. It is about strife.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little about Fiddler on the Roof. You guys are bringing that in. That's the next big one in the fold for the Broadway musical lovers.
Yes. So we took a little poll and we've gotten some great feedback, and our population, our membership, and also the 7 people that have called me in the past 3 days because they picked up the flyer, have said that they love musical theater and they love sing-alongs and they want to learn things.
Okay.
So we had a meeting a couple months ago and I said, you know what? Let's start with Fiddler on the Roof. It's probably almost everybody's favorite musical because it's something for everybody in there. There's love between a husband and wife.
Right.
There's love between children amongst themselves and with their parents. And then, as Kate said, there's strife because one of the daughters falls in love with somebody outside of their religious community.
Right.
And that song, God, I'm just getting tickles. When they sing that song, the father and the daughter, when she's leaving at the end, it really makes you realize that there's challenges in families.
Absolutely. And so, some of the songs people like to sing along. What are some of the favorites you want to like maybe bring to folks, or have them figure out what they want to sing along to?
Well, Sunrise, Sunset.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Matchmaker.
Matchmaker.
Don't we all want a good match
If
in
I
our
Were a
lives?
Rich Man.
Yes, absolutely. Sabbath Prayer.
Okay.
And we're going to provide lyrics.
Okay.
So that we're going to have a sing-along. I'll also give a little bit of vocal lesson there, so on how to breathe, how to stand. And I'm going to give a little history, because I happen to have the book here, the master book, with all the stories of the lyricists, the writers who developed it, and also the history from where it came.
Yeah, the book. It was,
Yeah.
a book that was written of many stories, and they pulled the stories together to make this. this
Now, Lisa,
musical.
you've done the kind of the deep dives and the history and the background of some of the plays before with the club, right? So you guys kind of
Absolutely.
revisiting this, and
Yes.
people seem to enjoy that, right?
People loved Oklahoma. People, yeah. And we really, in our first year, we were exploring.
Yeah,
So
what
like,
did they like?
yeah.
What, what was like, oh, that was not over the top,
Right.
that kind of thing.
And people really want to go like to Segerstrom, which is some local theater together. So I'm going to see a musical in June. I won't
Okay.
say what it is yet, but
Secret,
you have to come to
secret.
the first meeting, because I'll have a flyer about it. And people want to go, they can go and buy their own kind of ticket, whatever, wherever they want to sit. And then probably in July or August, we'll have a discussion about that particular show that's coming down from LA. It's a national tour.
Okay. Now, how great is it, Kate, that we have Broadway Music Lovers Club right here in the village, but also there's so many great venues all around Laguna Playhouse and Segerstrom that you guys can just say, hey, let's all just get in a van, or let's all get a bus and go somewhere.
Absolutely. Well, there's the Barclay, and the Barclay is smaller, so you get individual performers, and then some groups. We're going to go see the Mikado,
Yeah.
but it's the New York, Gilbert and Sullivan Society. Segerstrom, it's not just one. It's Segerstrom, and it's the other one, the Renee, Samueli. So you can go from cabarets to full, ballet and things like that.
Right.
And let's face it, it's 20 minutes from here, so why wouldn't we go there?
Right.
And also, like, I just went up to LA for the first time, and I saw a show at the Amundsen Theater, and a bunch of us jumped in, shared an Uber. I'm going this Sunday. We're going to share an Uber, because we don't want to drive. It's LA. But,
Yeah.
there's a guy who's going to be there, Ben Platt, who is so famous. I've never seen him on Broadway. I was like, oh my God, he's here for 10 shows. We're in. So there's so much opportunity.
There's a lot of opportunity. I just saw Suffs up in the Pantages.
Oh, we
That
saw
was
it on
great.
Broadway.
Yeah, we saw it on Broadway.
Yeah,
and
that
I
was,
went
but like
back.
you say, going up to LA, you don't want to do that. I drove there and back. I'm like, gosh, it's just, why? I wanted to see the play, but so it is
a
wonderful
tough one.
that they're
Yeah.
all just so close and everything's so great here. When you talk about the breathing techniques and how people can do people kind of discover, like, hey, I had a voice, I didn't know that, when you kind of walk people through that?
Yes,
like people wanted
absolutely.
to sing, or they sing a little bit, but then they really kind of come out.
I'm telling you a true story. I recently
don't lie to
taught.
me.
No, no, this just happened 2 weeks ago. I'm teaching a workshop for free, okay, for the Theater Guild. It's called Tuning Up Your Voice, and I only take 3 students at a time. It's a 3-week workshop, and only one person showed up. So she had me all by herself for an hour and a half each, 3 weeks in a row. So she had me for
Private
five and a half.
lesson.
She did, and you know
Wow.
what? In the second class, when she said to me, she goes, I can't believe. She goes, I can't believe how acting and singing are so
Connected.
and she couldn't get the word out, so I gave her the word connected. And just watching that revelation as a teacher, as somebody who loves music, and and when you know what song she chose on her own out of my 80 pieces of music, and she chose a song from Fiddler.
There you go.
Yeah, and she's not Jewish, so she felt close to this music. So I've been working on this one song with her.
And one of the things is how many, of us as children in elementary school were told, honey, just mouth the lyrics, that kind of thing, because young kids are just getting and finding their
Right.
voice.
Right.
And so exactly what you say, as they grow up and as they become adults, all of a sudden, oh, I can't sing. And then you have a situation and you go, wow, I can sing.
And my dad was told in the 1930s to be a listener.
Listeners.
That's what he said.
You know,
And he
your
was,
skill would be good listening.
and being married to my mother, who's a singer, 40 years later, he started to sing well. Because it rubs off on you.
Yeah.
When you guys take a crack at something as big as Fiddler on the Roof, with everybody's seen it, everybody has their own takeaways of how it should be performed in the characters. How do you guys figure out how to make it unique to like how can we rediscover this or make a unique choice in the characters?
Well, because we have such an intellectual group of people here in the village, really,
do.
we're sort of doing it, we've discussed it like as a Rhodes Scholar, where we're
I say
educating
TED Talk.
them, TED Talk, yeah, but where we're giving them like some threads of
Behind
where
the
the
scenes.
development came from. You know, it came from Russia.
Right.
You know, where did the cantors come who were singing from Russia? And they came to Broadway, and they created all of these messages in these musicals. And then we tell them their names, their backgrounds. One guy's from Connecticut, you know, little things like that. And then we go into the songs and we talk about them.
What's good too is to say, well, the people who wrote this one also wrote this, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so different. How is that possible? And you go, exactly. That's what shows you in musical theater. You don't have to just stick to one genre. You can find different stories, and the same people write the music, and the music is so very different.
And there were 6 major famous actors that played Tevye. You know, so there's Zero Mostel and all these other names, we're going to talk about them. What are the shows they did, how many times they do it. So there's so much to know.
Okay. If people want to get involved in Broadway Music Lovers Club, how do they do that?
Well,
Call us.
yeah, our phone numbers are there.
Ooh, I got to go check the email.
Yeah. But you can call us. You can just show up on our next meeting. Our meetings are now on Tuesdays, the first Tuesday of the month at 2 p.m. Dining room number 1 in the Performing Arts
All right,
Center.
so the next one's going to be January 6th then, right?
Yes.
2 p.m.?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, from the Broadway Music Lovers Club, Kate and Elisa, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're watching This Day. We'll be right back.